And here we are in our second lesson of our AutoCAD Level 1. A couple of things we can get straight right away if we get off on the right foot here is we have what I call our training wheels. Our 1, 2, 3 steps into starting off a new drawing, getting off to the right foot, and having everything basically having enough space to draw what it is you're drawing. So we have our 1, 2, 3. Set your units, set your limits, do a zoom all. Okay, we're going to show you how to do that in a second. But just before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the different types of objects we have in AutoCAD. We have model objects and we have annotation objects. Okay, model objects are the lines and the circles and arcs and stuff. There's not really a lot of objects in AutoCAD, but the objects that make up the model, this could be a pipe, it could be piping, it could be a wall, it could be any mechanical part or sheet metal, ductwork. It's the objects that you're actually drawing and representing. Those are the model objects. These objects are not susceptible to a scale factor. When you plot this stuff out, these objects are left as is at 1:1, and then when you plot at a certain scale, they come out on the piece of paper. Now, annotation objects in your drawing, because they're all in the same space, we have text, dimensions, okay, cross-hatching, the title block itself, section bubbles, and similar type symbols. Now, these objects, these 4 types of objects over here, are annotation objects, and the size of them, okay, depends on the plot scale. When you go to print them out, these types of objects have to adjust in their size depending on the plot scale. And that's all you really need to know about at this point, is the difference between an annotation object and a model object. That's all. So we start off with our 1, 2, 3. We're going to set our units. We're going to set our limits, do a zoom all. So in this case, we can see our units down here as I'm moving around here, and my F6 will freeze that and not. So F6. And our units down here, we can set by going to Format, Units. Okay. Right now I'm set to architectural. If I change to be decimal, and then I can say how many decimal places I want, basically this is my X, this is my Y, this is my Z as I'm moving around, okay? And we'll see that as we're drawing, how that helps us, and we communicate with our coordinates down here. Now, Format, Units, okay? If I go to architectural, then precision is 2/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch, or however I want that, and we'll see our units will change over here. Okay, so we basically want to set, I'm going to leave myself in architectural because I'm drawing something that's been given to me in inches and feet. So I've done my units. Now I set my limits. Well, your limits depend on how big the object is you're going to draw. Format, drawing limits right underneath units. Drawing limits. Now when we read our command line here, when we see options in square brackets, it means those are options. We would have to type ON or OFF here because they're all capitalized. We'll see lots of this. And then in the pointed brackets here, that is a prompt where whenever you go into an AutoCAD command, for instance, by hitting an enter right now, accepts this as your answer. So AutoCAD's constantly trying to prompt you with either your last number, or it's trying to be intuitive in guessing what you want to do, making it quicker. If I do hit enter right now, I accept the lower left corner of my limits to be 0, 0. So I hit enter because I do want it there. Now the upper right, it's currently set to be 100 feet by 100 feet. By default, it's probably set to be 1 foot by 9 inches. So whatever I type in here, I can say, okay, I want my limits to be 50 feet, and that's an apostrophe, comma, 50 feet. Okay? And then hit enter. I'm done. I'm back to my command prompt. Now, that's my limit set. Now I go to zoom all. To do zoom all, I can go view, zoom all. Okay, or I can just type Z enter, A enter. Okay, now I'm zoomed way out now because I'm looking at a 50 foot by 50 foot space. Okay, somewhere here in the middle, I presume. Okay, and we can see my units now when I'm down here. Look out, 40 feet. Okay, you can see somewhere up here is 50 feet by 50 feet, and it centered that in my rectangular screen. So zooming back down to here now, okay, we can see how that worked. We set our units, we set our limits, 50 feet by 50 feet, and then we did a zoom all. I'm going to do another Z enter, A enter. Okay, now I would be ready to draw, for instance. I could say, okay, well, rectangle command. It wants to know where the first point is, and I've got some other options in here. See the W or the T. The capitalized letter is the letter you type in to access that that part of the command. So I'm just going to pick a point right here. And now I'm drawing a rectangle. So I'm going to say at, which is a shift to at 20 feet, comma 10 feet. Bink. Okay? 20 feet in the X. I'm going to hit F2, okay? At 20 feet, comma 10 feet. First point I had already selected. The second point is 20 feet over by 10 feet up, therefore making it there, and it closes off and makes my... Okay, now O for offset, for instance, and I can offset by, let's say 12. Okay, I don't have to put inches. That'll get taken as inches. Click and click. Okay, I just did a quick offset. Okay, you can grab things and grip them. I can grab that grip and I can move that over to there. Okay, this is a polyline. It's actually a polygon as well. So now I can draw objects that are, in my space of 50 feet by 50 feet. And I'm just going to take that and erase. I'm going to do another zoom all. And that concludes our second lesson for our AutoCAD 2004